Locale.
Go 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Boom.
What's up? La Onda.
What's up?
Oh, no way.
¿Qué pasa?
What's up, buddy?
What up, dude?
What's up,
You
man?
guys are the first. You guys are the first ones to ever reach out to me.
What?
And yeah, you guys are the first, dude. And this is a new thing for me. So what had happened is I was on my Instagram one day, and these two gentlemen, who I don't know who controls the Instagram account, but someone
Mostly this guy, yeah.
reached out to me and told me that they have a record coming out and they would love to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I was stoked. So I said, of course, South Bay locals, not that you need to be one to come on, but it helps conversation wise to talk about the same area and people or whatever.
For sure.
And I checked you guys out, and you guys fucking rip.
Thank you.
You guys are
Come
good.
on.
You guys are good. You guys are really,
Thanks,
really
buddy.
good. And I've been listening to this. Is the name of the record Ride?
It's
Is that
Ride.
you
Yeah.
guys' first record?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really into it. My favorite one is Melting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys? You said yeah. Do you guys hear that a lot?
Well, I mean, so it's not out yet, so not a lot of people have even seen it.
Make sure you're talking to that.
Yeah, sorry.
microphone. You're
So not a lot of people have even seen it. So the last little podcast thing we did is the same thing. He liked Red.
Yeah.
I mean,
He,
Melting.
he liked melting.
Yeah.
That was his favorite.
yeah, it's jams, dude. It's like got this really psychedelic feel. I don't know. It's epic, dude. It's really like a dream state
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah,
that. But
tight.
that's not to mention like Ride and Let Me Dance. What do you call that? Because it's and I'm gonna use the wrong word, but it's not like a Spanish vibe. It's like a
So the first song, Ride, is like trying to be like a cumbia. Cumbia is that
yes, dude.
that you hear in like cumbia is a really popular genre all over Latin America and like, you know, now even more in like English speaking peoples too. But so that's trying to be like a cumbia.
I think it's appropriate for I think it's got the South Bay written all over it, dude. It's fucking epic.
You know, everybody's a product of their environment, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Wilmington,
You're
Yeah.
from Wilmington.
California.
Born and raised.
No, I was actually born in Roswell, New Mexico.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
So these jams are out of this world, dude.
yeah. Every time I say it, like I can't say, like it's kind of funny because Roswell's one of those places. If you're born there,
Uh-huh.
anytime someone asks where you were born or if it comes up in conversation, it like always comes back with a relative joke that everyone can make a reference to it.
Yeah.
Like if you
For
were born
sure.
in Chicago, not that many people know like that much about Chicago to make
Yeah.
like a pop culture reference.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
you sell Roswell and you're Mr. fucking X-Files right away.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, are you an alien?"
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
No, but yeah, my mom was pregnant like as a teenager, so she got kicked out from her dad's place here,
Uh-huh.
and then my grandma lived over there.
For
'cause,
sure.
it's closer to like the reservation where the rest of that side of the family's from.
For sure.
Sorry, and I'm nervous. I'm
What are you
shaking.
nervous about?
I don't know.
You nervous?
Oh,
Yeah.
Here,
It's because
do me a favor.
you're
Do me a
stony
favor.
baloney.
Scoot this way a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and then let's move this here because I don't want you talking into my microphone, but I want to hear everything that you say.
Okay.
Yeah. What and then you were born in Roswell and then you grew up in Wilmington. That's
Yeah.
basically the
Alright. So I just figured out what we're gonna be spending our time doing in this
Okay.
podcast.
yeah.
We're gonna make this the most comfortable environment for JD as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really. I have a lot of anxiety. I move around a lot. I
Yeah.
can't like sit still.
Sorry, do you think you can? Well, I'll tell you what, dude. This will definitely, I like your guys' vibe. This won't be the last time that you guys are on. So why don't you just do this as much as you can? And if you got a bail, check this out. Look at this.
I'm
Yeah,
not
right
gonna
now.
leave,
That's
but
pretty
that's
cool.
dope.
No,
Yeah.
I think
You know,
I
you could just give me that remote and I'll just.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
No, yeah. So I was born in Roswell, and then came back.
Microphone.
I was born in Roswell, New Mexico, and then I came back eventually through like a bunch of craziness,
Yeah.
and then and then I stayed there till I was like 18, 19, and then I just tried to get out of there.
In
Try to get out of
Wilmington.
Wilmington.
Wilmington, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a it's like it's a city that like it's a hard place to live.
Yeah, I've heard tales. My buddy growing up, his dad's side of the family is from Wilmington.
Yeah.
And whenever I asked about the city of Wilmington, he proceeded to call it Weemos.
We
Yeah.
must.
Yeah, and I don't know. That was kind
That's
of
what I thought.
speaking of products of your environment.
Yeah, I got a tattooed on my neck.
You
That's
got
what that-
Weemos tattooed
he's
on
got
your
And I
neck?
got
W.
W.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
show him.
Yeah,
show
it's-
him over there. It's right there. See
Oh,
it?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
a W. Yeah, Weemos. I'm a weed metal, is what you would call me.
Oh, we metal?
We meant like
wheel,
a rocker.
like a wheel, like a
Wheel?
wheel, and then
Metal?
okay, so wheelmas.
Yeah.
My
And
Spanish
someone
is
from-
garbage. So
Someone from Wheelmas would
Uh-huh.
be a wheel metal.
Oh, metal.
Oh, metal.
Wheel
Oh,
metal.
A Will Marrow.
Will Marrow, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we metal.
Yeah, yeah,
Will
Wilmero.
Marrow.
Oh,
Yeah, Wilmer.
got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So-
and that
so-
translates to what again?
just a person
Just
from
like
Wilmington.
a someone like
For
a
sure.
Will like a
like a dude from Wilmington.
For
yeah,
sure.
Wilmer.
And then there'd be a wheel meta.
For sure.
which are
You're a fucking
fire.
Wilmer, bro.
Which are fire.
Yeah, I've never been able to get a weed meta in my life.
Really?
Yeah, not from a lack of.
You just got
trying,
to
but-
find someone with a matching tattoo. What if that's your tail, dude? Is like in 10
Dude,
years from now, you're in this bar, La Onda is about to go on, and you like look at this fucking La Chica across the bar, and you see the W on the
She's
neck.
kinda like, yeah.
What
Well, probably in
happened?
Wilmington because that's all the girls there.
What happened? Oh, really? Wait, all
prob-
the girls in Wilmington have a W tattooed on them?
All the girls that I've gone out with have had like a tattoo that.
Make sure you're talking to that microphone, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
you gotta make. You gotta make
what
sure you're talking
what
to him,
happens?
dude.
What happens, dude, is you're talking and I hear you, but your voice is
going to not going to where it's supposed to.
yeah, because there's a noise gate. So if you're not talking loudly into this, it cuts out. But if you're talking loudly into this wall, it bounces off and like gets picked up on my mic. I just want everybody to hear what you have to say.
Okay, cool.
That's it. I'm looking out for you.
I hate
thank you.
noise gates. I'm all about the expander, using an expander. It's kind of like compressor brings things up, right?
Yeah.
Or actually, no, it squishes things down. An expander kind of like is like a gate, but like turning it down instead of just like.
Yeah. No,
So,
I'm with you. I tried to. My noise gate is very minimal. It still picks up background noises,
Yeah.
but if so long as your mouth is pointed towards the microphone, you're getting picked
For
up.
sure.
But if you're tell me about we met us over there,
Yeah.
then it's you're not going to be able to get picked up.
Yeah.
So what do you guys? Oh, and then where are you from, dude?
Well, so I grew up in. It's funny because I was also born out in the desert, but in Indio. I
Really?
was born out in Indio and lived out in like Desert Hot Springs until I was like 5. But then I grew up in Redondo and Torrance and Lawndale and Gardena, just all over this, mostly Redondo, but
Yeah,
like a lot
for
in
sure.
Torrance
So
too.
so you bounced all over. Just you've
just
always
the South Bay. Well, for sure the South Bay, but just yeah. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
for
That's
sure. What about you?
I'm from here, born and raised, but I
That's
was
like
in I was in bands my whole life,
Yeah.
and anybody who grew up in bands, especially, well, I was a drummer, so I wasn't originally a drummer at first. So let's just run through the resume here. In middle school, I sang for a punk band. I was my sister, who is 5 years older, dated this dude, and he was straight edge. And so I found out about like straight edge hardcore way when I was young, like 10. And from there, it was like just he himself listened to like Throwdown, Poison the Well, but I started to pick up punkaramas and stuff. And for sure, everybody was listening to Blink 182 on the radio. And then you'd hear Green Day, and then that evolved into like AFI and the Hellcat bands. And from there, I was like, my buddy's older brother played the drums, and he was going to lessons. My buddy was going to lessons to play the drums. He was like 11 or 12. And I saw a band play in Redondo when I was a kid. Rock Goggle Fantasy is what they were called. And it fucked me up for life. And I was like, oh, okay.
Was that like a Otic Records band?
I don't know. I still try to. I know my buddy. I still struggle with the memory. Like I try to like piece it back together, like where exactly I saw them, but
was it in Redondo?
It was in Redondo.
At the Columbus.
Yes.
At the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I.
And that's on the left
remember
side of the
that.
street. It's on the if you're facing the beach, it's on the
It's
left
like a
side.
banquet hall.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah,
Yes.
that was an Otic Records show, I think.
Okay.
And there was also
There was a band. There's an Asian dude in this other band where he stared at the floor and was screaming into the microphone. He had a bowl cut. That's all I remember. That's like the other piece of vital information I've developed from this night.
Yeah.
Was that?
I don't know. I can't remember that. I remember, I think maybe there was an Otic Records act. It was just a dude called This Song Is a Mess and So Am I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
they did it that night. I just remember being like, "Oh fuck, Ojik Records is so cool."
Yeah, dude. So that this song is a mess, but so am I. There was another band from Costa that kind of did that. He was like a violent electro pop.
Yeah,
or
he
some
had,
shit,
had
right?
like a mini Korg or
Yeah.
some shit, and it was just fucking.
Yeah, there was a band
wailing
called
on it.
Reptar from Costa that did the same kind of deal. And yeah, as I got older, I got into like when I got into high school, I got into like weird shit like grindcore and like you're into like weirdo stuff. I mean, you're just you take it overboard, you know. But then I reeled it back. Just kind of got into hardcore, and then I was always into like I don't want to say rock. I want to call it like alternative, I guess, because like hardcore and punk being my main bitch. You know, everybody starts a band in that genre because they're tired of playing pissed off music, and you kind of follow those bands like Title Fight. I don't know if you guys have heard of Title Fight. Yeah, so like Title Fight is like turned down is like a bunch of hardcore dudes that were like, yo, I don't want to play hardcore anymore right now. You know what I'm saying? So you end up following those bands. So that mixed with like the Hellcat bands that you're originally into. I always love AFI. There's like Alkaline Trio. There's some old school.
Yeah, those are all my favorite bands.
Yeah, those are
all my favorite bands.
Did you go to Since We Were Young festival?
No, I didn't get a chance to go to that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one out.
There's like Thrice and shit, right?
No,
wait, am I thinking of something else?
The one out in the IE, right?
No. So Since We Were Young was in Santa Ana, and it was at the observatory, but like in the parking lots.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I mixed it up. Yeah.
No, it's all good. And it was like set your goals. AFI Morrissey decided he would grace everybody with a couple songs. I think.
Was he on the bill?
Morrissey has a reputation of deciding whether or not. And I get it. Like he's vegan. I think now. I'm vegetarian. I get it, but I just don't really fuck with the vibe. It's like people are paying money to come see you. Like just because somebody's eating a hamburger over there, you can probably come and play a couple songs. Yeah, that's kind of his.
Well, he's like such an ethereal being or whatever. Like Morrissey's a trip, and like, you can't fuck it. Like I wanted to. JD keeps being like, "Yo, we got to do a cover song." I'm like, "Why do we have to do a cover song?" Firstly, I think there's copyright shit all over that. Like
copyright song.
No, like I'm not
Morrissey?
talking about a cover song.
Anyway,
I don't want to do a cover song and put it out as a single. I was like,
he wants to make like a cover. I'm like, sure, okay, let's do a cover, or whatever.
Dude, you guys did Bright Eyes and it ripped. You guys,
That was actually for like, so JD's friend was like doing all the video stuff for like
he was doing it. He did a video and for like there was like a. What do you like that? Like when you celebrate the life of someone, but it was like at a club. Like they were just
like a
doing
memorial,
a memorial thing at a club.
Yeah.
And he was doing some like local bands and like local rappers and stuff were doing like Matt covers. And we couldn't really do that because or we weren't even a band back then. We just did it as friends. And sorry, I'm still nervous.
So Mac Miller has a
don't be nervous.
Covers that.
I'm not. No, I'm not trying to be nervous as much as like.
Of course you're not trying to be.
Getting it done.
Do you want to get? Do you want to get in this spot? Maybe you'll be less nervous.
No, I'll be more nervous in that spot. But no, don't worry. Let's just
you're
not
fine.
Focus on. Yeah, I don't know why I'm nervous either. I wasn't nervous.
Don't look at yourself. Anyway, so bottom line is Mac Miller had a cover of that song, and then so JD's like, "Well, do you want to cover the Mac Miller cover?" And I was like, "How? Okay, sure." And so I did that.
There you go.
And that's where that came from.
I'm fucking see, dude. We're all getting some shit done.
Good. You know, what are you worried about?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
It's you know what it is he hit his weed pen before we came in here, and now he's
nervous.
No, actually, no. I'm trying not to smoke.
Don't do drugs, kids.
There it is.
Just
it's actually helping me.
Look at see. I just had to fix the camera. We're all good, dude. We're all doing shit.
We're
all doing shit over here.
You're doing great.
It's all good.
Am
We're
I doing
all
good?
figuring it out.
You're such a good boy.
Look at I appreciate what you said when you guys said that you guys went and got it like all fucking like had to go practice somewhere.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny about
that
the practice one. It was for me to practice, and then we did it, and we did great.
I guess
we did really
well. You did great.
I did great. I did all the talking, and I was not nervous at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what it is. I think you're just really good looking.
Me?
Yeah. I'm not. Well, it's like I'm used to being around one really good looking guy.
Hey, baby.
And now I have to be around two good looking
guys.
He doesn't
know
on
what
a
he's
camera.
gonna do.
It's making me scared.
It's like, oh shit.
There you go.
It's like I'm getting a boner. I don't know what to do with it.
First of all, I appreciate that. Second, don't be fucking nervous.
Okay.
You guys, your guys' music speaks for itself. I like to believe, and we're here to discuss the music. So you can be anybody you want to be because your work is the fucking music. So fucking don't worry about anything.
I think it's just something about like
you're a musician.
You know what it is? It's being from Wilmington. You don't like to be on a camera.
Oh. And you're in El Segundo. You're like, oh fuck, I'm in El Segundo.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I'm looking out for cops right now.
Yeah, yeah, we're inside, but we're still like worried about them.
You guys are definitely okay.
No. You know what's funny is, have you ever heard of the app Wag?
The dog walking
app.
Yeah. Yes.
So like, whenever I get like this, I'll usually like go on it and see if there's like a dog nearby, and I'll go walk a dog. It's funny. One of my normal walks that I do every once in a while lives up the street.
Wait, you'll go walk a fucking dog when you get nervous?
Yeah, like he does it all the time. He'll get like 10 dogs, and for some reason that makes him less nervous. That would make me super stressed out.
No, like I'll go and I'll like, well, it's because like I think it's like a nurturing thing. It's because I want kids, but I don't want kids. So like I'll go into a dog and then I just go into like nurture mode.
It's
like,
like
I have to be stronger.
Really?
I have to be stronger than this thing to make sure it's okay.
That's trippy, dude.
Yeah. So I need a dog.
It's like the lowest like commitment fatherhood.
It's the lowest commitment. You know what? If you have commitment,
you don't even. It's not even your dog.
And you know what's funny? And you get paid for it.
Yeah. And so it appeals.
I'm with you, boys. Sorry, this fucking camera's tripping out. All right, we good now.
It's all
okay,
good.
Cool.
So it appeals to your hustle too.
Yeah, it appears to my hustle. But yeah, there's a dog that lives down the street from here.
What's the dog's name?
I walk by this house.
Yeah, what's the dog's name?
Rocky.
Dude?
Rocky.
Rocky.
Is he tough?
Yeah, he's a really strong pit bull that loves to pool.
That loves the pool.
He loves to pool. Like when I'm walking, he doesn't walk.
Like,
that's not good though, right? You're supposed to be like, hey, walk with me.
Oh yeah, I'm not a trainer though. I'm just there to kind of make sure he gets his daily exercise.
For sure. And like if a dog is used to being away, you're not gonna be able to teach him a whole new way
I only
to
have
be
him for half an hour.
walk.
No, I have him for an hour.
The hardest 30 minutes of that dog's life. About to learn today.
Sit the fuck down, Rocky.
Sit the fuck down, Rocky.
Wait, are you human?
You're not the boss.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm used to the area.
Yeah.
The area's cool. There's always cops 2 blocks down that way, so I know where to to smoke my pen at.
Yeah. It's it was really weird. Like speaking of Gundo, it wasn't very gentrified because there was like a bunch of pissed off old white guys here growing up because they all used to work at the refinery. You know, that's what El Segundo was. It's like people don't understand like what El Segundo is. It's like El Segundo was a fucking crash couch for the fucking refinery workers with the miner mentality. That's what it was.
Totally.
And this is years ago. And then they would come here into the town, go to the bars and shit with their miner mentality and act like fucking. Take a wild guess how they would act. They got they'd never moved. They got super fucking old and they were here forever.
Yeah.
And now they're all rest their soul, whatever.
Yeah.
They're fucking all taking a dirt nap. And now as they're leaving, super rich people are moving in.
Yeah.
And it's just like El Segundo can't catch a break, dude. It's never mellowing out.
Dude, you know what? I used to work at this pizza shop with this really old Jewish dude, like 75-year-old Jewish dude, and he'd tell me, yeah, back in like the 60s and stuff went up.
My fault.
It's all good.
It's a subscription.
You got played out, dude.
That's all right.
No.
He was like, yeah, back in the 60s, I wasn't allowed into El Segundo, it's because I'm Jewish. Like they would like
Dude, Jewish.
Yeah.
How do you I don't even understand that. Like my friend Nakama from art school, extremely Jewish and likes to keep everybody updated on the social media about what's going on in the Jewish community and persecution, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just I don't even know it's just, it trips me out. Like, yeah, I couldn't come in because I'm Jewish. It's like, dude, like, people must have been, like, fucking looking out for something to be mad at. Like, I don't understand, like, I'm kind of getting Jewish vibes from you. Are you Jewish? It just
we don't like that fucking shit, bro.
Yeah, it's such a trip. The funniest thing ever is, what was that South Park episode where they're like, we don't take kindly to people who don't take kindly. Yeah. It's so funny, dude. But yeah, El Segundo can't catch a break, man. It's cool in that it's kind of like the refinery city in the South Bay off the coast, and there is some there's a cool vibe here because it growing up, There was like always kids trying to put it on the map because we're not Manhattan, Redondo.
But it's in like every movie.
South, yeah, but that's like that was our claim to fame. So all the kids surfing here, like we'd get super hyped when someone like ripped, you know, because we're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like maybe you'll go start surfing El Segundo, and like now we'll have a surf spot, and like we were really trying to support. So like especially bands, or like if somebody's really good at something, the El Segundo kids were pretty cool about like trying to get together to support that kid, because it was like as far as South Bay goes, it's like, well, we're definitely not Westchester, no disrespect to Westchester, but we're not Westchester, but we're not Manhattan Beach, and we're not Redondo Beach. We don't even have a beach in our name. You know, we're like a refinery.
Yo, what is it?
Town.
The second what?
The second refinery, second Chevron refinery.
Is that why it's called El Segundo?
And
so it's really based on the whole refinery.
Shit. All the streets. So the first refinery was in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Those are 2 street names right there. And so it's all tree names going this way, like going towards the beach. It's all tree names. And then coming this way is all things to do with like the refinery, Richmond, Virginia. I'm trying to think.
Wow.
And we have a fucking main street where everything is on. It's a trip, dude. It's a trip. And like people pride. It was prided. And there's cool things about it, man. It's like cool, like in the holidays, like where like it seems like movie town. You know what I'm saying? Where there's like we have like a fucking main street with like lights and like fucking, I don't know. The farmers market is in like the spot where, of course, the farmers market is. It was like that's cool, but there's definitely
I used to come out here when I was a kid.
I do
go to those things.
Wait, you had a what?
I used to come out here when I was a kid just to go check out like the nice places. We used to go check out the little Main Street thing.
Yeah.
We used to go walk around there, and then we'd go to see what's not PCH. Where are all the bars at? I don't come out here a lot.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like so all the bars are right here on Main Street.
On Main Street, yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to go there.
It's still like that.
Yeah. Is there still like music there?
So it's getting better. We don't have like a night. I say we. Yeah. Like I just live here, yeah. Like, and I'm not exactly.
Bro, you're gonna be 95 cool? Out here, be like, man,
but so long as I'm doing,
you're very community based. Is why.
Well, I'm not community based. I mean, like, I'm me, and I don't exactly think that like I align with the general perspective of like what everyone would be okay with. I was a punk piece of shit growing up, you know. Yeah. Whatever. I just I've never. I refuse to be chased out of this town. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the thing. And so, like, I give it props where it's due. I love the little town vibe. I love, like, when me and my lady are walking the dog or whatever, how, like, that vibe. But I really don't like that I have homies who'd come into town and we're getting fucking hassled and shit. I see cars pulled over all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really into that vibe because it keeps us in one little fucking spot, but apparently it keeps us like stuck in this like weird little motion and this weird reputation where people like me with a fucking talk show who is in a position where I'd like to defend the city are like, yeah, dude, but how come I get fucking pulled over every time I'm fucking here? Like, I got no good answer for that, and I don't like that shit about the town. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't have any answer for you that's different than just like a really shitty, unfortunate fucking answer, you know? And if I could change that, I would. But like I do like that there's like a library park, you know? I do like that it's generally safe. But I mean, just like anywhere else, there's things about cities that
I really like this place.
Wait, wasn't you loved that movie Cruel Intentions, right? Yeah. Wasn't that like fucking El Segundo High School too? Or like every
Cruel
fucking
Intentions, that was in New York.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't really though.
I don't know.
Like every time you see a high school in a movie, it's almost always El Segundo High School.
Yeah.
They filmed Blow here.
They did film Blow here. Actually, my mom is local from Manhattan Beach, went to Costa and stuff. And that dude was a real dude out on the fucking sand, hanging out with people in the area.
Yeah? Huh.
Yeah, that dude George Jung was like a real fucking guy.
Oh,
so I'll help you guys out. Superbad was filmed here.
Yeah.
Joan of Arcadia.
Never know that show.
Yeah, that shit was filmed here. I didn't watch a whole lot of TV. I fuck with Cartoon Network heavy, but it was never.
But wait, who is this? I can't remember the movie Blow.
Oh, George Jung?
Well, was he the guy who flew the plane back and forth all the time?
He was the main guy, dude.
Yeah. Was he a CIA dude?
No, he was a Johnny Depp.
No, I remember. I know that. I'm just I can't remember the movie.
You're mixing up. You're mixing up two different stories. There was a guy who did the same thing basically, but he was more involved with the CIA.
And he was working with the CIA and then
Cocaine Cowboy. No, because that dude was a gangster.
No, this is just like.
Oh, you're talking about Rick Ross, like the real Rick Ross.
The real Rick Ross.
Oh, Freeway Ricky. Yeah, Freeway Ricky Ross.
Yeah. Well, but this is not that guy. This is just like
there's so many of these guys.
Bro.
But George Jung, he was I thought he's from Long Beach, but
something like that.
I don't
George
know.
Jung? Are we talking about the one from Blow? Because the one from Blow is like from the East Coast and moved here.
Yeah, there's
like
so
work
many
or something.
gangsters.
Started selling weed, and then.
Oh, that's how that movie goes.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and Pee Wee Herman's in it. You know who's in that movie?
Yeah, that is fucking Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman. No, Pee Wee Herman and what's his name? Bob. Fuck.
Saget?
No. The guy from Revenge of the Nerds. The guy he has a funny voice.
Oh, with the glasses?
Bobcat Goldstein or something.
I don't know.
What the fuck? That's a name?
Yeah, well, it's a stage name.
Bobcat Goldstein. Nice to meet you.
Something like that. But he's unrecognizable in that movie. But him and Pee Wee Herman's really good in that movie.
Pee Wee Herman kills it. He's like he's the gay coke dealer dude, right?
Huh. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, he's epic.
Bro, I haven't seen that movie in like 10 years.
That movie is full of quotables.
Whip that movie. I had the biggest. So my growing up, my crush was Penelope Cruz for some reason.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Her particularly in Vanilla Sky was my jam.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was my jam. Tom Cruise had like those 3 stint. Tom Cruise was putting out heaters for a second. It was
Tom Cruise has never not put out a heater.
Yes, but Mission Impossible is I fuck with him because that dude's like geriatric, still fucking jumping out of planes, still fucking pumping out of planes and shit. But there was a second where it was like, fucking Jerry Maguire, fucking Minority Report, Vanilla Sky, Risky Business.
Oh, and that one where they do the orgy.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. Eyes Wide Shut, dude. Yeah.
Fucking
shout out Tom Cruise, dude.
Yeah, what's up, Tom Cruise?
Yeah, shout out Tom Cruise.
I will convert.
I
will be assigned Tom
Cruise. The Apple Box movie king.
What's the Apple Box?
He always has to sit on it because he's kind of short.
Oh yeah.
When he's next to a
he's
coaster.
not Tom Cruise. He's not kind of short, dog. He's a short dude.
Yeah, he's rather short.
Yeah,
he's like
rather.
He's like
that little Turkish guy who's always like punching everybody. He's like a meme. You just see videos of this little tiny dude like fucking punching.
No, dude.
You're on your own.
All right, dude. Sorry.
Fuck.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Boys, I'm having fun. You see how this warmed up?
What? Yeah.
Are you doing good?
Don't remind him about it. Now he's
I'm not going to get into it again. I have a really bad anxiety and it comes out like a lot.
So did I. I used to. Weed used to just I could smoke weed and be laying with my girlfriend and turn to her and just be like, yo, who are you? What are we doing here? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Why is this so weird?
To be honest, I need to get high right now. That's I was telling him in the car. Good. I usually I have a.
Everybody's different.
I smoke flowers, and I don't want to smoke flowers because I don't want to be too dumb.
I got a bong.
Oh no, I don't want to be dumb. I'll be dumb. I'll be dumb.
Flowers, bro.
I'll be really dumb.
I smoke fucking flowers.
Flowers, bro.
What?
You're the man.
I don't really smoke that much weed.
I call
anymore.
it trees.
Trees?
I call it trees.
I'm kind
but
of
one
girly.
tree. Yo, you got any tree?
No plural.
Like one tree to rule them all.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all like a bunch of sacs from one tree.
Angiosperms.
Yeah. So without
flower,
without tree, I'm usually kind of spazzy for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I hit a pen that creeps in a little slow, but it'll get there.
Nice, dude. So with my experience, as far as the drugs and alcohol goes, I was smoking I've smoked every day for since I was 14, 15, and then I stopped recently because I wanted a career. I just had to do something.
Yeah.
I was just cruising, I was in a band. I went to art school and I was even making art. I just kind of oh, by the way, you guys, that's your guys' art right there.
What?
Yours is right there.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, you guys get my guests get
Oh
prints.
wow, dude, this is
that's
dope.
sick.
Yeah, my guests get
Aw,
prints.
Dude, these
buddy.
caught my eye right when I got here.
Yeah, no, this looks like a thing.
Yeah,
This looks dope.
everybody watching knows.
This is
what's
cool.
up.
You did this?
Yes.
This is really cool.
Serpent.
Thanks, dude.
Moon.
Yeah. So, but I wasn't producing any art, and I just had to fucking change it up, dude. Like, there'll be a time and a place.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty tight.
It's prettier than me. That's dope. This is really cool. Like, can we talk about this for a second?
Sure.
This is really cool.
I'm just looking at it in astrological terms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there's like, so this is the moon, right? But this part's the dark moon. That's Lilith, but the moon is really, a normal moon. And here's a lady, and then there's these serpents like Orpheus, the serpent bear. So where do you go when you're like thinking of imagery? Like,
Where do I go? Well,
Yeah.
music is a big thing to do with it. Where I was when I did that one, I was actually listening to my friend's band Sea Haven.
Yeah.
And I like listening to like super not instrumental, but like a lot of reverb. I love like explosions in the sky type vibe, a lot of like drawn out. I even have like some instrumental like soundtrack from movies, Hans Zimmer shit.
Yeah.
I love like, so it's kind of that, and I'm able to like surrender to me listening to that with no judgment. And then that's kind of where I go. And then once I get the idea picked up, I listen. I listen to a ton of shit. I also listen to like I got a little drum and bass in the mix. And once I get going, then I'll listen to something a little bit high, more energy to just keep the production moving. But as far as like the creative process go, I'm super into like I guess like emotionally drawn shit, and I like music that kind of evokes that feeling in me. And yeah, I just like that one right there. It was just kind of like I don't know. I think just the contrast of just beautiful, sorry girls, but like just a beautiful women with just like under the night.
Women
time,
are beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, but like under the nighttime, like I don't know, that seems to be when, trouble is arising. It's like nobody tends to get like, if somebody cheats on somebody, it tends not to happen first thing in the morning, It's all kind of under the...
Unless it was a really good night.
The cat... Well, yeah. Well, fuck, dude. I don't know. If it's like cast on it. So it's just, I just go there and then I run with it. And then I definitely let myself kind of surrender myself to that. It's just art. And no matter how it ends up, it's not right or wrong. It just is.
Yeah.
So I just developed that idea until it's something that I think like all the lines are crossed or all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
Isn't that funny how like artistically the biggest hurdle you have to get over is yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I think that speaking on that, I think that I would be surprised at the percentage of shit that people didn't like in their artwork if they finished it. Like everybody hates their work when it's not finished.
In the middle fucking sucks.
Yeah, they're like, dude, what are we going to do with this trash can? Dude, just finish it.
Yeah.
Just finish it. And I say finish it, like for music, it's like, dude, okay,
just keep going.
No, yeah. You're going to do another fucking chorus, and then you're going to do another fucking verse, and then another fucking chorus, do a bridge, and then a chorus, and then figure it out. It's like, when I was in bands, I tried not to get like too caught up on the writing process, but I remember just being like stuck halfway through a verse and being like, man, fuck. But every time something's been finished, whether it's my art or it's a song or it's anything, it like always seems to work itself out in a way where like there's enough direction for you to figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I will put out.
What do you guys play in the band? Like,
I don't know.
Instruments?
We don't know.
I don't know.
I play guitar. I could play a little bit of keyboard.
Who sings?
He sings.
Me.
He does. Sean recorded everything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're not actually on the recording itself.
No, but he was like, we were writing. Like, the whole project is really JD's like fucking like brainchild, and it kind of comes from this impulse that he's trying to bring into the world, basically.
Yeah. I want to create what Tyler the Creator has.
What's that?
Tyler the Creator from
Yeah. But what does he have?
Wolfgang.
Oh,
Or gang,
okay.
Golf Wang.
Yeah, Golf Wang.
Golf Wang, yeah.
Is it
He has
just
it's his own world of people who are who are stuck in other people's worlds.
Huh.
And I feel like I could relate to that.
And you've been able to like break. Is this like something that's
No, it's an idea. Like I smoked a lot of weed and I just had an idea.
nice?
Like, well, I looked at what he has, and he has this whole world of people that belong in other people's worlds. So then when he came around with this whole thing, like suddenly they belong to something. Suddenly it's okay to be weird, and not just be weird, but to like actually like be yourself.
He used to work at Active right here in El Segundo.
What's Active?
Yeah.
It's a skate store. It's like
Huh.
it's like the skateboarding.
He has a
superstore.
funny story. He has a really crazy life story that I hope they make a movie really soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like it just bounced around a lot. I don't know the linear history of him, but like just watching different videos and like people who grew up with them, and like I used to follow that guy Dark Shark, which was like a character in his whole like thing.
Didn't he have a TV show?
Yeah. Odd Future.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was just called Odd Future.
I think so. He has this whole world of people like just looking at it as like a social thing. Like it's really cool, and it's a really big service to like not only LA but like Tyler's like international now. And I always thought that'd be pretty cool to have a world full of people that like who didn't feel like they belonged to like the world that they're stuck in.
Yeah.
So they can go into like another like a huge subculture of people, and like
For sure.
that's kind of like how subcultures are spread now. Before they were kind of like a little more low key, and people were kind of didn't have the availability to it. And now with the internet and stuff, people do. And he is just one I've really particularly noticed because he's from LA.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I just watched, I saw like his whole career like blow up, like from little spurts where like I heard about him and I like knew people fucked with him, but I didn't really fuck with him. I don't really fuck with his music, to be honest. Well, his last album, Igor, the shit.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like that whole album from start to finish, perfect.
Yeah, that's what people are saying, right? Like people are saying it's the fucking it's the answer. Have you haven't heard it?
I
heard a couple songs.
Bro,
it was cool. It's like definitely different. It's new. It's like, is he singing? He's kind of singing on it.
That's what's cool about it. It's that there's no template in sight for that whole album.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you record stuff, like it gets kind of dry sometimes because it's like, okay, I got to create this verse and I got to create this chorus. But then after that, I'm like 2/3 done because then I'm just going to copy paste the chorus.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like, there's always a format. There's a verse chorus, you know.
Yes.
And then even like when you stray from that a little bit, like a lot of times it's just like there's 3 verses and like, and it's like not that big of a deal. Sometimes there's just no bridge.
Yeah.
But no, like that whole album, like just there's no formula.
You're right.
And that's really relieving as like a person. Like I like to write songs like that's what I do on the album. Like I didn't record everything because you've been in a lot of bands. Logistically speaking, getting 2 people in a recording studio together just for the sake of having them both actually record it, it's like damn near impossible.
Yeah. So when my last record that not to cut you off, the last record I did was just me, the drummer, and the lead singer, guitarist. Well, we just found people who could play the music, but it was really just us, maybe another person, and people are way more excited to hop in the studio when you're in 21. Try and find people who are in a band like their late 20s. How old are you guys?
I'm 31.
I'm 30.
Okay, yeah. It's probably kind of hard to find people to rally.
Yeah, well, it's always I guess it was easier back when we were young because everyone was like dying to be in a studio.
Yeah.
But now everyone's got like, oh, I got to work, or I just don't want to, or like I'm not that good anymore because I work and I can't practice.
Well, yeah. Well, even 10 years ago, like the studio was still like a fucking place.
Yeah.
Now the studio is like, you know, a bedroom.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, I don't want to go to your house. Why don't you come to my house, my studio? You know,
for
whatever.
sure.
Yeah, and our studio is at his place.
Wherever.
Our studio is his place.
Or like we used to be in a band in high school, and our studio was fucking Richard's garage or whatever, right? Or was that your mom's?
No,
garage?
it's
Eric Villa's garage.
Eric Villa.
What band were you guys in high school?
It was called After Party Radio. I liked that band. I thought I
like the band.
But then I just like quit one day. What happened?
You were tapering off, and you weren't just tapering off as a guitarist, because I met him through music. I met him to ask him to play music with me. And he was awful.
Like you guys slid into each other's DMs.
I slid into his MySpace.
And you were like, "Yo, what up?"
I was like, "Hey, dude, Kid Sparrow's the
picture.
shit. Bohemian Club is the shit. I love all of your band. I'm actually his like first fan. Like I'm a fan of him. Like his music. That's why I play music with him. Like we were friends for like a whole like 10 years of like not playing music, not even mention. We play music, but not with each other. We just like we were solely friends.
Yeah.
So you guys.
So we were in a band, and then we didn't do anything for 10 years, and now this is our second band.
Yeah. This is our second go at like playing music together.
La Onda.
Yeah.
Yeah, La Onda. The band name was his idea. I like wasn't super into it because I.
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
Okay, so the whole thing with La Onda, this is JD's idea. He wants to create this whole movement about La Raza, like just like a fucking
all the
Chicano, Latino, fucking Southern California cultural.
Sure. I wanted to, like I thought it'd be cool for all of us to have like a base, like because there's a lot of bands that do that.
Are you Latino as well?
Oh, like
his mom,
my mom, yeah,
for sure. Having a hard time admitting it, or what?
No, it's more just like I feel like a poser.
Yeah, he feels like a poser.
I feel like a poser to be like, yeah,
which is perfect Latino. Because if anyone's ever seen the movie Blood In Blood Out, we got the name La Onda from a gang in that movie.
For sure.
And the guy who goes into the gang, and he's kind of like the focal point of most of the movie. He suffers the same. His dad's white and his mom's Mexican, and he doesn't fit in, and he feels like the need to.
That's not the white dude from M.A., is it? Have you seen that movie?
No.
M.A.?
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Is it a sequel? It might be a sequel because his name's Miklo. So.
Well, M.A. is the mafia, Mexican mafia.
Yeah, this movie, I think it was called M.A., and it was there was like a white dude as the homie, and he was like.
There was a lot.
Cuff pants, like, and he was just a white dude in the neighborhood, or a white kid from the neighborhood.
I think that's a completely different thing because there's another movie called American Me, and
that's it. Yeah. It's American Me.
It's American Me,
and that's about MA, right?
It's involved.
Yeah, for sure. And the white, there's the homie is super white in that movie.
Yeah. It's the same.
Like blonde.
It's pretty much the same dynamic.
It's just tight.
The American Me. There's a really graphic scene in that movie that if you're gonna tune into that movie, be
spoiler alert, like 25 years later.
Not just a spoiler alert,
forever
just kind of like
bro, the 90s.
a sensitivity alert. Like that's a pretty like crazy movie.
Yeah, good though.
I want to know.
Really good. Yeah, why don't you?
Well, guy gets raped in prison.
Oh yikes.
Yeah.
But no, we got it from another movie called Blood In Blood Out, where the main character, he goes through like this whole turmoil, like he doesn't fit in with his cousins because he's not Mexican enough, and he goes to prison. Spoiler alert: he goes to prison.
I haven't seen past the part where he goes to prison.
He goes to prison. You
gotta get on that.
Yeah,
I know, bro. Well, I mean,
it's kind of better he doesn't.
It's just that one of those I can't find it online, and I'm not gonna try too hard.
It's one of those movies where like if you watch it now, you won't get it, that it's supposed to be that bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean? I don't judge older movies in that way because they're from a different time with a different sensibility.
Okay, well, you're not everyone.
Okay, can I get your pen?
Oh yeah. No, we got the whole movie. He doesn't feel like he's Mexican enough for anything. So when he told me like, I'm not sure if I can be in a band called La Onda. Like I like the name, but like I don't know if it's gonna be accepted for me. And I just said, okay, whatever you feel comfortable with, but just letting you know, like that just makes it more perfect. Yeah. So we kind of just like we never settled on changing or not changing the name. We just kind of kept making.
I couldn't think of anything better.
I think it's tight.
Yeah, it means cool. The wave. So like the reason why I wanted to call the band that is because we kind of play like some beachy shit.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's legit, dude. And I like the old English font.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's Ed.
I like the vibe, dude.
That's all Ed.
Yeah.
Ed did the whole thing. Ed just like.
Oh, Ed.
Yeah. That's Ed Brescia. Ed across the street.
I love that fool.
He was just on here.
Yeah.
I watched that episode.
I was like, yo, I think your homies hit me up, and he's so funny, dude. I was like, yeah, La Onda, He's like, oh, La Onda. And I was like, oh, you know these fools.
Oh yeah, that's the homie. That's like the homie.
Yeah, I fucking love Ed. Shout out fucking Ed for real.
Get a tattoo from that guy.
Yeah.
Bring him weed.
Yeah.
And a tip and food. Yeah.
Just bring everything that you would normally bring your tattoo, dude.
Yeah,
just bring anything you can think of that you're choosing. Just bring it all.
Yeah,
and let him choose.
Shout out Ed. What up, Ed?
We
good dude.
Yeah, we went with him. Sean went with the idea of mixing these two figures, these two religious figures. You want to get into that?
I guess. Okay, so
make sure you're talking to that microphone.
Yeah. So okay, you do art stuff, so you know the Virgin of Guadalupe. Mm-hmm. You know. very famous image. And then
you can move the mic like more. Yeah, like that.
This, like this.
Yeah.
This?
But don't fuck it up.
All right.
I gotta go over there.
Yeah.
There.
So there's the Virgin Guadalupe and her little shell thing. You know, you seen that. And I don't know. I don't know what made me think of it, but I was just sitting there one day and it kind of like occurred to me that there was like this sort of like connection between that image and also, do you know the image of Kali, the Hindu goddess Kali, with all the arms standing on the dead body with the ring of...
Yeah.
I realized that there's something like connecting those two images besides the fact that they're like divine or spiritual power women. That was a significant part of it, but something about like the mother, and also Kali's the goddess of death, but like the death of like the universe, like the end of all time, right? And so something about the birth of God and the destruction of all creation, somehow like I saw them together as one image of like the Virgin Mary like standing on a body, you know, like with fucking the apocalypse. I don't know why I thought of that, because it's like such a beachy and like mostly happy album, you know. Most of the album is super like, you know, it's like totally like not the same imagery. You don't look at that and hear that.
But the images are really
something. But I don't know. I just thought it was like, holy fuck, this image in my head is really cool. And then I told it to Ed, told about it to Ed, and then Ed did that version, and that's what that is
for sure. and you guys, we're talking about
the album art.
Yeah,
he's talking about the album art.
I got this screen too. Bam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
So we're talking about this right here.
Yeah,
and Ed just fucking killed it on that, because I think like most of the EP is like really happy sounding, and it gradually goes from like dark to happy, and it leaves on a very happy note.
Yeah.
And that whole image right there, I just think it has like a really good marriage to it.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to the album, it kind of gives it like the darker songs, it kind of gives it like a little happier tone, like a little bit prettier tone, like just a little more elegance to it.
Yeah.
And on the happier stuff, it kind of gives it like a little dark undertone, because some of the songs, like even like Melting is like a happy song. There's still like some sadness to it.
Yeah.
So like I think it's kind of cool like how the art also like reflects that, and it just makes it makes the listening to the songs better when I look at the image.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's
definitely he made the album better.
I think that there's definitely contrast is important, and I think if you can get like even to bring it back, and people will talk shit, but the Beatles, like Sgt. Pepper, and like it's one of the happiest sounding records ever, but then there's like that like played backwards track at the end and shit, and it kind of like there's kind of, I love like weird contrast like that. Yeah. And my first record, I was in this band called The Long Lost, and we overdid it because we should have just made sure that the songs were good, but we were super into like having like traditional like we did this like part where it was like the lead singer, we mic'd him up in the bathroom, he was like coughing and spitting up into the sink, but it was like after a song, and like it's fun to like it's fun to do conceptual shit. Actually, I prefer it.
Yeah, like Hey Ya.
Yeah, Hey Ya
by Outkast.
What about it?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Hey Ya is like a huge troll song. It's
really?
It sounds like a happy song.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's a commentary to it's like contemporary relationships with people, and how like they don't really care about each other. They just kind of want to hook up with each other. And even in the song, like he's saying all this really messed up stuff, but everyone's just dancing to it because it's kind of repetitive. And
what's cooler than being cool?
But there's a part in there where he just says, "Y'all ain't trying to hear me. Y'all just trying to dance." So it's this whole like.
Well, see, I love that, and that's what music should be, right? Music should be something more,
and that's
than
cool. Like not a lot of people know about that either.
I didn't know about that. It sounded like you didn't know about that either.
Well, I mean, just the words. Think you got it. Oh, you think you got it.
Yeah. See, it's just that catchy. It's that you don't even think about what the song's talking about, but the song, like, and then he knows that, and he recorded into it, like knowing, like, I'm gonna say this crazy stuff, like this really thoughtful stuff about like where love is today, and people aren't gonna even hear it. They're just gonna dance to it. And then he says in the like he actively recorded in the song, "You aren't trying to hear me. You're just trying to dance."
Shit, I didn't know that. Might have to run that song back.
Yeah, break it down.
What part does he say that? Is that the part where he right before he was like
right before it goes into a chorus? It's like at the end of a pre-chorus.
Is it before the shake it like a Polaroid?
Yeah, I think it's before that. I think it's the
like
chorus.
Right before
the chorus. Right
Y'all
before
trying to
that.
hear me though? Then
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So that's really.
I don't know either.
Oh yeah, that's like a little fun fact that we just.
Friend and call him.
Yeah. No, we like to do that kind of stuff. Actually, we did that on this record.
But
the song "Ride" is it's not really a song as much as it's like an opening credits to our EP.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I interpreted the song too. It's like a big ass, like almost intro.
It is an intro.
Yeah. It's an intro sonically, but also the lyrics are Sean put together the track listing for the EP and just kind of made a song out of the track listing. So he like drops the song names in the lyrics of Ride. Which gives it like another level of just like it's just kind of like an opening credits to like.
So
I just didn't know.
Is this the album that just dropped?
It's
on the 16th.
On the 16th, which is probably.
So it is not dropped yet.
It's not yet.
No, it's not dropped yet.
And by drop, does that mean access?
Like to everywhere. It's just on a sound.
It's on a little SoundCloud thing that we're showing you and like homies and shit.
Yeah.
But it drops on August 16th. I don't know when you're putting this out.
August 16th. I put it out this will be out the next day.
Okay, so it's available.
And
it's available. It's fucking.
It's available on SoundCloud.
Hot off the press.
But I don't think that
it's gonna be on August 16th. It's available on Spotify, Apple
iTunes,
Music, everything.
The whole the all streaming platforms.
Everything TuneCore does is what.
Yeah. I think there's some in like Africa and China and shit that you can stream them from too. You know.
Yeah.
Really?
All over. Yeah. No, I was looking at the all the stores. I'm like, some of these. What the fuck?
So when you get ready to put out a record, how does it, because I got my shit on Spotify, but my lead singer handled it. Yeah. So how hard is it in 2019 to put out a record?
There's like distribution websites that send them to everybody.
Oh,
like the one that I put it on was TuneCore.
Yeah, you know that guy in the band who does all that stuff for you?
Uh-huh.
That's what TuneCore is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, TuneCore is the guy in the band that like will take care of.
Is it free?
No, I mean, you pay per release. I can't remember it.
You pay per release, and then different releases are different prices. Like a single is obviously gonna be cheaper than an album.
For sure.
And then you pay, and then every year you pay a cheaper price. I think it's cheaper. Maybe it might be the same. I don't know.
For sure.
But every year you have to pay to keep it on there.
Were you and I'm gonna rewind this just so I understand. So he was always in bands.
Yeah,
I mean, he was always in bands too.
I wasn't always in bands as much as I'm always creating something with a friend.
Creating something like art,
any kind of like art, writing books, writing movies, and like just like I'm always doing something.
Writing movies?
Yeah, like I mean, it's not even like something to do for profession. It's just kind of something I just always like.
Yeah, you have the need to create.
Yeah, I have the need to like. I'm obviously always anxious and stuff, and something like I move around, and it's like my chewing gum. It's my smoking a cigarette. I just need to like go do something creatively.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I can't smoke cigarettes. I don't want to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, good for you. Don't get into that.
Yeah, I smoke.
The kind of guy who should not be into.
I used to smoke cigarettes, but like I'm also the kind like didn't get addicted to it because I've always been like this, but just like really like moving fast and just like I can't sit still. I got into cigarettes, but honestly, it was just to be cool, just to look cool.
Really?
It was just to look cool. Like,
that honesty is fucking top notch, dude.
No, yeah, it was just, well, yeah, because
you probably would have been like, I'm just smoking this to look cool.
No, I would have told you that back. No, like I probably like if no one ever asks why you're smoking a cigarette, but like if anyone ever asked, I probably
wouldn't that be
like,
funny if people did though? Hey, why are you smoking a cigarette right now?
And I would. The fuck? You know what? I would legit say,
get out of here, kid.
You know what? I legit would say, there's a girl right there.
Really?
What does that mean?
I would have been like, "There's a girl." Like that's why I'm smoking a cigarette.
Look sick.
I'm trying to look sick.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. I remember that after chain reaction, like in between bands, like if you were like smoking cigarettes, you were sick. As
so
fuck.
sick.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing ever, but
and it's kind of like those things like you can't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You have to just know it's sick and not question it.
Yeah, for sure. But that was joke's on me, dude. Fucking $10,000 later, 10 years later, or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I never got hooked on it. As soon as I found weed, I stopped.
Oh, when did you start smoking weed?
Not even like 2012.
Really?
Yeah. I never wanted to be a pothead. I grew up where I grew up, and like you just see people who indulge in like everything, and you don't want to touch anything close to it. So like I had that idea and like that whole like connotation to it, and then like, I mean, I watched Cheech and Chong, but like I was always like being high almost seemed like a cartoon idea to me.
For sure.
And then I got exposed. I got kind of peer pressured into it to intern for this company with these guys. And they're just kind of always smoking. So I just kind of got into it, and I've noticed I was able to focus more on anything I can do.
Oh, sick.
And like, well, it's kind of like it just gives me tunnel vision. So like whatever I'm focusing on is what's getting done.
For sure.
And then like it was helping with my anxiety. I always thought it was kind of a spaz, and I'm like, oh, people aren't gonna like me because I'm like this. But it's like I wasn't a certain way as much as I was just getting anxious like a lot.
Can I ask you a question regarding that phenomenon, for lack of better words? Are you getting better at just accepting and loving yourself, or are you just masking that feeling with weed?
So like, he got really, he was like, we had this talk like not that long ago.
I don't remember it.
He just said I smoke too much weed. No,
Does he smoke? Do you think he smokes too much weed? I don't know him personally.
I mean,
I'm
I don't
getting to know him right now.
Wait, did I say that?
Yeah. Well, I think,
dude, I'm always
probably,
just like saying
high.
shit. I'm always just like moralizing on people, like just to push their buttons mostly.
Oh, okay, so you're just fidgeting.
Yeah, that's how I fidget. I just go, I smoke too much weed.
So what is that all about? That says more about you than it says about me.
Yeah, well, obviously there's something wrong with me.
No, I actually have I have trouble loving myself, but that has gotten better with weed. Like I started opening up to myself more. Like I started talking out loud, like when I'm smoking weed. Talking out loud isn't something you do when you're high. Talking out loud is something you realize is okay when you're high. Like when you're high, you realize you should be able to talk to yourself.
For sure.
So like when you're alone and like when you say something, it becomes almost tangible, and you can almost look at it, you can hear it, and just like you have to face that.
Yeah, that's the whole words of affirmation thing, right? It's like that's why you say it out loud, like, yo, I'm worth it. Today's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I never say it out loud.
It takes weed. It took weed to get me to be okay with doing that, like to being like just to being high. And then like those high thoughts like got me to open up more, and then like it opened me up to the idea of therapy. Oh. And with therapy, just like it just took therapy and weed together is kind of like
therapy changed my life.
Yeah, therapy made me realize what life was.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's super funny that we think that. You guys ready for the fucking local only session?
Sure.
Here you go,
go,
bitches.
Sure.
People think that you only need to be going to the gym and working out your body, but that's only 50% of you. And that's the theory on the yin and the yang, right? Is like there's a whole nother side of you. There's two sides to every story. I mean, you can go and work out every day, but if you're not conditioning the brain, which is the whole other side of you, I mean, you're only
doing it the wrong way.
Yeah. Or like, the other way, you can't like be, I mean, you could be a scholar, but treat your body like shit, and that's.
Oh no, I mean, just like in your brain, like most people are just giving their spirit junk food all the time. Like, and you're, well, I don't know. And then
no, it's okay. No,
that's why everyone's so fucking crazy.
You know what? I totally agree with you. I think that right now, especially, which is one of my main reasons of why I started the podcast, is because I do think that there's so much spiritual junk food out there. I think Instagram is spiritual, like selfies for likes.
Yeah,
that's fucking chewing tobacco for your spirit, dude. It's awful. It's something that, and especially if you can create an image. I follow that app Beauty, or I follow the what is it? It's a channel, not a channel, an account. I follow an account called Beauty False, and what it does is it takes images of a real person and puts it next to what they put on Instagram. So it's like their edited photo next to what they look like in real life. And it's exposes you, and like I don't think that people really understand this, but half the shit we see. I mean, just this morning, I got all these logos and these projects together to share, to show everybody that I'm a graphic designer. I'll do graphic design work, whatever. Yeah. But I sat there and fucking fine-tuned everything to make sure it was ready to share. People do that shit with their photos. People aren't just like posting raw fucking photos. Yeah. It's social media in itself right now is just. I mean, that shit, you can get so caught up on that, chasing things that don't exist because it's all doctored to look good for likes.
Yeah, it's because it's a platform. It's not just like it's not a place to hang out. It's not like a hangout. It's a place to be seen. Yeah. And that's where people go, and like it's anywhere you go, like
I never thought about that. That's called social media, but it's not very social, is it?
Well, no, it's like more it's a display.
Yeah.
It treats the world like like the internet's like a gallery, and so that's what social media. It's like you're hanging up like, oh, this is what I'm about. This is what I like and stuff.
Yeah. That's a trip that it's called social media, but it is not very social at all. It's more of just like a display.
The outcome of it is social because then you get to stay in contact with these people.
Right.
But that's not what it's for, and that's not what we use it for. We don't care about these people like that we knew in high school, but we keep them around so they can see what we're about.
For sure.
You know, like it's kind of like, I don't know, like a canvas, and people just like put whatever they want on it.
For sure. No matter whether
And so when you look at it, that almost treats life. That's life imitating art. Yeah. And like it just turns it. I know it's kind of a joke on us.
What do you think people are trying to sculpt when they're like sculpting their social media like?
It depends on the person.
Like, but I mean, there's a reason that we're all doing it, and I don't think we understand it.
Well,
what do you think we're fucking doing?
I think that we're competitive by nature, and I think nobody is about showing their mediocre fucking life because it puts us in third place in the scheme of everything. It puts us in third place, and we just don't have that synapse in our brain that goes, yeah, man, like, post it anyways. Everybody needs to do hashtag fucking what's up, fucking duck. I haven't seen a girl's face on social media without the duck lips in so long, and it's because...
Who do you follow?
I always see the tongue out.
I follow a lot of like design.
Having their fucking tongue.
Yeah, the tongue out.
I follow a lot of friends, a lot of design bands. I love following bands.
The sponsored ones get you too. Like it's the same thing with the sponsored ads. They'll come in and it'll be like a really glamorous version of that toxicity. Like it'll be like it'll be promoting like a good life of like that no one can get. It'll like no one can get that. No, like you can't get that and not keep it and keep it. You can't get that and maintain it.
It's made me less excited about like the things that people used to look forward to. Like social media, these posts have made me like less excited to go to, you know, some like remote island one day with like my feet in the sand and shit because it's like, I don't know, you see these like fake pictures and stuff and these were supposed to just be like ideas you had in your head that you're supposed to be like, wow, the Bahamas. But now you can just kind of like go and see some like some fool parked on in a Lamborghini like on the beach in the Bahamas and shit, and you like expose yourself to too much. Does that make sense?
Would you say that it's bait? Like it's like
bait?
Like it's kind of like
it's definitely clickbait.
Yeah, it's like there's like
the intention is
everything. It's everything where negative, like all the negative things we're just drawn to. Like we're not just like drawn to positive things. Like we're also drawn to certain things that are really bad for us, and it seems to harness a lot of those things. It's
a psychic like energy harvester machine.
Like fight videos are terrible for us. They have to be so bad for us.
Not only that, but like just like a hot chick that you look like, there's comparison there. There's like you know, you might be in a relationship with someone who's not into you looking at that, and you're looking like, it's just a bunch of things we're drawn to, and we're all like, it just seems like it's trying to draw like everyone. So it's like everyone's on social media, and I don't know. It just
wants you to look at it.
They just want you to look at it, and if it draws you in to look at it in every single way, it's kind of just like, is that on the people or are the people being lured into something?
Well, yeah, you can. You should have one right there, dude.
Wicked.
Yeah, I think the main thing is social media is you have to make your life look as appetizing as possible, because if you can promote things while you're doing while your life is looking as appetizing as it does, then people will buy the things that you're into.
Yeah, that just says people are sick when we know that people are sick.
Well, people are unhappy and are looking to these people who are making bullshit up for the internet for happiness.
Yeah.
And that's not where happiness. So it's like this fucking vicious cycle. It's like,
I do it all the time.
But like, I think I don't.
You do what all the time?
Just like waste fucking time.
Yeah, so do I. I waste a lot of time online.
Just like it's literally for you to look at it in that. I think phones and screens and all of media is the world draining.
If you don't talk in that microphone, I'm going to turn that microphone so you have
all right,
to.
All right. It's like the world is trying to drain away your consciousness. So like the world appears before you, like by you paying attention to it, right?
Uh-huh.
Like that's what the law of attraction and all that shit is. And so the reason these technologies came into existence is like there's a force like trying to drain your fucking energy away from you, and that's what it is when you look at your phone and looking at all these things.
Who's trying to drain our spiritual force?
Like anyone who's trying to control us.
Yeah, or you would call
this is going. Who's trying to control us?
The devil.
No one's ever gonna
Satan.
know.
The devil or whatever.
The idea of
the devil like a dude with horns, or is the devil like
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
I think when it comes to the devil, God, existence, it's really it's like you really got to think you're really important if you think like you are able to understand what everything's about. Like anyone who
that's hard to
so anyone who claims that they know that they have an idea of something is like, no, like dogs can't see color. You don't think we're blocked from some things?
Sure.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like
like a fly like knows you're coming before you swat it.
Yeah,
it's like
everyone's got a handicap. Like, what's ours? Like, what's going on?
I
We
want
don't
to see that shit so bad. I'm
what?
so pissed that I can't like perceive the higher dimensions of reality.
Well, that's why people. That's the selling point on experimenting with hallucinogenics, right? Is that you have the ability to.
I'm actually doing it in a couple weeks.
I don't like hallucinogenics that much. Like, it doesn't help me that much. It makes me really confused.
Which ones do you do?
I mean, just like acid and shrooms.
I didn't like shrooms. It was just way too.
I microdose.
I mean, I've done that too, and I'll still do it every fucking time, but that's just because I'm a party animal. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to help me. It seems to help a lot of people for sure, but it makes me more distracted and less in myself enough to like I don't know.
Yeah, we have the opposite effect even with weed. No, I'm like I don't like to do acid. I've actually never done acid. I would not like the idea of doing acid.
It's because it's called acid.
It's because like a person made it, I guess.
Acid was my favorite. That's why I ask. And I'm a trip. And like I don't like shrooms was too crazy for me. One tab acid was like. So I tell this story. My first time I took acid, I was laying down on the cement. I took it at sunset with my buddies, and it was like the most beautiful day. So I thought but it could have just been the acid. But it was like the sunset and like the tangerine sky. It was amazing. We went into the night, and there was this moment where I was laying on the ground. We went to the high school, and I was laying on the cement, and I sat back. I was laying down, but I'm trying to show the camera here. So I'm laying down here looking up at the sky, and it felt like the entire world like shifted like this, and gravity shifted towards my back. So I was standing up, but our understanding of gravity, so like underneath our shoes, was no longer a thing. It was where our back is. So it was like I was standing but pushed back. This is how my brain was perceiving reality at the moment. And the sky, which was now in front of me, was now on display, and whatever being was showing me how
exactly
how gigantic the sky was and how small we are, and whatever is out there. Like, not only was like, before I explain this to you, this is just like how I perceive the experience.
I'm with you. I follow you.
It was saying like, first take notice of this change of gravity. And I was like, whoa. And that was like the trust thing. It was like, okay, so now that that's on the table, you need to trust me. And like, just proceeded to like, I just like demonstrate, for lack of better words, the natural like cycles in the sky were like lights were like fluttering, and there were stars, but it seemed like they were moving together. And I kind of felt, I couldn't help but think about like how we're all those stars. We have our own star and how big it is to us. And we just happen to be in the living capacity of our star. Yeah. All of these stars are potentially suns to other planets that are within that living capacity. and it showed me how fucking small we are. And ever since then, it's just kind of given me not like we lost from the beginning, but like we're so small that we don't, like, you shouldn't feel anything but relief, because like, at the end of the day, like, there's no way you're going to change all of that. So just change this. So do your best to just change this, your son, who you are. And ever since, man, it's like everybody's had their ups and downs. And I didn't really, it wasn't until I was older and I was able to look back and reflect on that experience and try to apply what's going on in my life. But because when you're younger, you're almost like, the day after, you feel so great, but you're almost like at shock, like, yo, last night, like, how fucking crazy was that? It's not until you remember it like a weird memory, like lost time or something, like trying to think back and how weird everything felt, the gravity and shit, that you really try to apply that to your everyday life. But yeah, that was my acid experience, and I did it a couple times after that. Sometimes really bad, had a really bad time, but it was just like stupid. I had broken up with my girlfriend that day and took acid with my friends, and my buddy driving us around goes, "So man, how you taking the breakup?" Like in the middle of me. He's an idiot. He's the most socially dumb dude ever met.
He meant well.
Whatever. No, I don't know if he did. He was just like sober. He's maybe
you're defending him. You don't even know him.
Yeah, well, you're a good dude. But that was annoying of you. And then the other times I had, it was just kind of like, oh, this is fun. But I only had one, like spiritual experience on acid, and shrooms didn't do it for me. Shrooms was much more just like, I felt intoxicated almost. Like everything was like just like reaching at me and moving and shit. It wasn't like there was no other dimension of me tapped in. It was just kind of my like fucking I don't know. No, his initials are not CE.
Oh, I forgot there's that.
What is that? What are you
talking
about?
Yeah, there's a chat. Oh, can you not see the chat?
Oh, there's a fucking chat?
Yeah,
I wasn't at the other time.
Yeah, there's a chat.
Who's chat?
Yeah,
It's my buddy Nick.
Yeah, I go to I usually go to peyote when I try to do
You've done peyote before?
I do peyote a couple times a year.
Really?
It used to be every year, but now it's a couple times a year.
Really?
I used to only do it when I used to work Coachella a lot. I used to always work Coachella, do production. And we're there all week. You know, like you're there all week. There's only a show for the weekend, and then you have to stay there for the next couple of days, because then there's another weekend. They stay there for another couple of days because then there's stagecoach. So we're just stuck in the desert and like,
for 3 weeks,
for like a month, and like not a month and a half, but like a month and some change, like a week, like a little less than a week. So we're just like, we have 3 days where we're like in the middle of those 3 days, like there's nothing going on, like. You don't have to do anything. Everyone's kind of partied out because, you know, they have to work and party. The weekends work and party, and the week is kind of like leisure. And we all go to like Joshua, and we'll just go like do drugs. And everyone stuck with like ecstasy, you know, like acid and coke, and
ecstasy's the worst in my opinion.
anything made in anything like that, you know, came from a lab.
Ecstasy.
It's probably bad for you.
Take a couple hits of that ecstasy.
Yeah, and peyote is kind of like the first experience I had with peyote. It took me. I'm kind of like an intense person. Like I feel things intensely, and I kind of vibe accordingly. And when I took it for the first time, I felt. It took me to a bad place, and I thought it was a bad trip, and I felt pain in like the worst way. I felt emotional pain. I felt like physical pain. I felt like a bunch of painful things, and it gradually got better and better and better. And then when I came out of it, I felt really great. And the more times I did, like I went into it, the same experience didn't happen, but I did feel like all those different emotions during the trip. Like I'll go through a trip where like it'll hurt, but then like it'll go to nice, like something really good. Like my emotions and like even my like my actual physical feelings is like are like touched on, like they get messed with.
Weird.
And then it turned me into a huge empath. And
peyote did.
Yeah. And I became a better person. Like I used to kind of be like really kind of like, I don't know, dick. Like condescending a lot, and I thought I was right about everything, and then that could have just like changed through time too, just getting older. but I became super empathetic after I started doing peyote, and it just made me want to do it more and more because like, you know, it's a drug. So like, that's what it does. Like it intenses a good feeling in you. And like, sometimes that good feeling is just like, not just a high, but like you like who you're becoming. So you keep doing it. So like, yeah, I can't do it like a lot, but I'll do it like a couple times a year.
What happens if you do it too much?
I don't know. I'm afraid.
Well, you probably can't it's not.
I think you end up
you become a celestial.
Yeah. Fear and loathing
When you
in
say
Joshua Tree.
do you mean like a real celestial or like people who sell crystals and shit?
they're both real.
People sell crystals.
I mean like you just like phase shift into another like you know, not I don't think you can get enough peyote to do it all the time though. It doesn't grow that fast and there's not that much
but
of it.
There's a lot of it.
Is there?
Yeah, if you go to like south, like more like the Southwest states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just growing like in people's backyards, or like.
Aren't we a Southwest state?
No, yeah, I know. I meant like the
Mexican,
New Mexico, Texas.
Got family in Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of my family's on the res in Oklahoma because my mom's side is native.
Oh.
And so like a lot, those whole areas like Texas, Arizona, like people just like, there's like woods, or like, you know, like we have like woods areas, some places out here in the desert. There's just like desert areas, like no, that's not a part of the city. That's just like the desert.
Yeah, there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
Well, there's like cactuses and stuff, and you go there and just like, oh, like look, there's like $2,000 worth of peyote just like with spider webs all over it.
Yeah.
You know, like, so like it's. I forgot where I was going with that.
I don't know. I thought it grew like slow or something, and so like everybody doing peyote is like really bad for the environment because,
well, yeah,
at least bad for peyote.
We are probably consuming it at a faster rate.
Who, Coachella?
No,
yeah,
people,
just humans. But it's
mescaline.
gonna get eaten. I mean, like it's illegal.
Oh, I had heard that
That's
on like a
true.
Vice show. Like there's so many people doing it right now that, well, they're not. It doesn't grow fast enough for the amount of people doing it right now that it will eventually be.
Well, I mean, there's growers for sure that are always gonna like. Just
Interesting.
all that's gonna happen is gonna get monopolized.
People are gonna have to take a fucking break. Dude.
How fast do you think it takes to grow one like
a
peyote
long time.
button? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's-
years, right?
I mean, as long as it would take something to grow in the desert.
Oh,
You know.
I don't know how long.
What if you?
things
Yeah,
take
but
in-
you can hijack like organisms the way like look at weed.
Well, yeah,
Weed
that's what I
now is
mean.
unrecognizable from the way it was. You know.
No one's ever seen the plant. Like anyone who's like Generation Y, like
What?
like the symbol of marijuana.
Oh,
like,
they just see buds.
they just
and
see
shit.
buds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one ever
No
sees.
one- you
no
don't
one sees
see
a
it.
plant anymore.
Yeah. But it's just.
But on socks, they all wear socks
Yeah.
with fucking weed
Yeah,
leaves
they
on
should
their
wear
pictures. But here's what I was saying earlier. Like social media, you can find that fucking bud leaf for sure. You just like go. There's growing. There's
Well, that's
grow
what's
ops
the-
all
Well,
over the
that's
place.
what I mean. Like people have like people with so much experience with weed don't have the experience of like actually like looking at that thing.
Yeah, like they.
All they
we
see
just
is like
smoke
whatever
weed.
they get from the shop.
Yeah. Or fucking dabs. They're like, oh, wait, dabs are from the
Like,
weed, a plant.
weed-
You know,
weed-
like
Yeah.
I smoke flowers because there's a whole thing to it. Like you grind it, like you get it, you grind it. But like
It's a ritual.
there's a ritual to it. But then there's an even bigger ritual that I miss out on, which is like cultivating growing it.
Yeah. For
so,
sure.
So like there's a whole I forgot the documentary. So I saw a cool documentary.
I knew a lady who like couldn't smoke it for whatever reasons. It just didn't work with her well, but she loved growing it.
Yeah, there's a whole process. Like it's like someone probably taught her, and she probably like holds on to that. Like there's a whole really cool process to growing like any kind of plants.
It's like a recipe.
Yeah, it's a recipe. It's not only a recipe. It's like
a relationship.
people build model cars. People build computers. Like
Oh, you mean like a whole fucking?
it's a whole thing that they like to do over.
Or people do fly fishing.
Yeah,
I'm a fly
Yeah.
fisher.
it's a process that takes a long time. People binge watch The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will take someone 6 weeks to finish The Office,
Oh,
and
is
then
that
just
how long it
start
takes?
right over.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
anything that's like being practiced should be held on to for sure. And
Yeah.
there's some people.
Well,
who
that's why there's culture.
Yeah, and there's people who have been trying to figure out. Well, see, it's a shame for the people who have been growing for like 1960s because now there's the technology to get out, and you could go out today with $1,000 put it all on your credit card and get like the best grow op possible, to the point where like you probably couldn't even fuck it up. Yeah. You know, you could probably just like put the shit in dirt, spray this shit on it, when there's people in the 60s like had to fucking run for the cops, like, plant it like underneath the house.
Yeah, I think everyone should get let out of prison who got arrested.
That's fucking so crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. And the argument that it was illegal at the time is a stupid argument, because
it shouldn't have been illegal at the time.
Yeah, that just means that law was stupid as fuck.
That's why it's legal now, because it's stupid to be illegal.
I think that they don't want to open one door about reparations. That's gonna have to open every door. You know what I mean? Because like they don't want to fucking.
They're not trying to pay us. Like natives, like our reparations
for fucking sure.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. The native situation is alarming, to say the least.
Oh yeah, and you know what's funny is that it's actually not alarming, because like no one talks about it. Like, yeah, that's another thing I wanted to do with Onda, like to talk about like stuff like that, because like I like my mom's side is native. Like I feel like I can. It's not just sympathy; it's empathy. Yeah, like those are like. We're going extinct. There's an alarming rate of women being killed and murdered because there's so many legal loopholes that like take forever for anything to get solved. Like like what they're doing is people.
I'm gonna slow you down because I want this information here, and I want to hear this as accurately as possible. Yeah. So who are the women?
Women who reside on the reservations, the Native American women on reservations.
Okay.
So when in the United States. So when a person from the outside decides to kidnap and kill them, usually they will get away with it completely, and it's almost a perfect crime.
Who's kidnapping and killing them?
That's the thing. Like we don't know. Like what? It's just there's an alarming rate of like them being killed off. Like they're the single, I think the single highest like identified people, like women, like are like the highest number of women killed and murdered or kidnapped with unsolved murders, like Native American women, and it's because when it goes to investigation, it's like, okay, well, whose jurisdiction is this? Because you're on a reservation. Yeah. Like, and so like the local like law enforcement can only do so much, and then it has to go into like higher, like when it doesn't get solved, when nothing gets solved and there's all these unsolved cases, it has to go to a higher rank. So once it gets there, like who the hell, like whose jurisdiction is this? So it just never gets solved, and like no one, since there's so much to do with to fix that problem, they don't really pay attention to it, because on non-reservation land with like all these like taxpayers, for like a lack of a better term, like Americans who are not native, which Native Americans pay taxes. I'm not saying they're not, but what I'm saying is like their focus isn't on people on the reservation. Their focus is on everyone else. So they kind of get pushed
helping everybody else,
on like taking care of their own instead of also helping the natives. Because like, you know, there's just a lot to do. There's like and they don't know who should solve this, whose desk this should go on, and like so it just nothing gets solved.
And this is in terms of only the kidnapping and murders, or is this on a grand scale of all the problems with
all the problems? But like that's a high problem. The kidnapping and murders, like people will go missing, and like 2 years later they find them in like a ditch off the highway.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And who's doing that?
No,
they don't know.
They can't solve it.
Well, like, I mean, I'm sure it's different in every.
It's always different. It's not one person.
It's probably usually a fucking crazy boyfriend.
Well, crazy boyfriend, or a lot of times it's just someone crazy that wants to go kill someone and get away with it.
So there are people who are who are targeting the Native American community
because they're easier.
Murders.
Yeah, they're easier to kill and get away with.
Oh shit!
I can send you a YouTube link to like.
No, it's okay. I believe you.
No. I mean, like just to learn about it, not just to know about it. Just to, if you want to, like, once you learn about it, it's really crazy. Yeah, that's just a huge problem that we have, like just with native and like the whole Standing Rock thing. No one like, there was people that reported crop dusters flying over them at night.
Wait.
Like
drop chemicals on top of them?
Like what else would it do? Like why else? Like would that crop duster be flying over protesters that are like being like they're throwing smoke bombs, at tear gas at them? They're like hosing them.
Yeah, America likes money, man.
Yeah.
They do some fucking and I'm you know.
Yeah.
House of Cards, man. That shit fucked me up, dude. That show fucked me up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fucked up before. I was talking to my buddy the other day.
It's a good show.
I was talking to my buddy the other day, and you got to check it out, dude, for sure. And we were talking about the slavery section in our 7th grade, our 8th grade. It was in our 7th or 8th, I think 8th grade. 8th grade social studies books. And it was one page, another page behind, and then half of a section. I remember it. And like, we're like, oh fuck, dude. Like, and it wasn't the idea that our history books were like written by somebody like at a certain point and then like bought by the school systems and shit. You never think about that. Yeah. Dude. Like growing up, like, you're just like, oh, this is the history book. This is the history.
This is what happened.
You know?
That's why like I don't personally subscribe to like Christianity, but I also don't knock people like for doing it. Like I'll have discussions with like-minded people just about like the idea of theology and stuff, but like I won't ever like ridicule someone for because at the same time they can turn their argument. I base everything I believe in the world and life on a book.
Yeah.
And it's a history book.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's that like it's really crazy to think that everyone bases their thing off things that other people said.
Yeah.
And like you can't like knock anyone for anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we all fucking do the best we can, that's for sure. And
well, if you're good, you try the best you can.
Yeah.
Most people do not fucking give a shit about shit. You know, most people are just like embattled, like embroiled in drama.
They're caught up. They're caught up. Like that's why, like when we were talking about the whole social media thing, like it shows that sick people are like are this attention driven. Like we know people are sick, but like social media, like we didn't happen to social media, we didn't happen to the internet. Both of those things happened to us. We all got an Instagram because we felt like we were socially obliged. You know, like and then we saw what we saw on there, and then we felt what we felt. We have no control over like how we react to it. So we just like we react by like trying to do the same to assimilate to what's going on in this new world that we're like just thrown into.
This is a crazy new world.
The world of technology.
The world that's like
in access to information.
The Matrix.
Good information or bad information.
Yeah, it just information.
Yeah.
Whether it's real, even fake information is still information because it's data.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it now. Because now somebody in a fucking before, like you had to have a publishing company to print out whatever you're fucking printing out. Whatever was in those history books, I wouldn't have read it unless there was some publishing company putting it out. You can be fucking King Nobody from a basement, you know, and from some small town and put out a bunch of fucking shit that somebody's going to read, and some idiot will be like, this is fucking right, dude. You're fucking right, brother. I agree.
King Nobody from a basement is a great name for something.
Yeah, dude.
King Nobody.
King Nobody.
That's
and then the book is called From a Basement.
Yeah.
Or the
That's
album
cool.
or the movie.
There you go.
A little fun fact. With the whole publishing thing, something I learned recently was that a lot of like whether they're either gangs or they're just like community groups that happen to be affiliated with gangs. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll spread words in the community, like, you know, like about gentrification and how it's not like, you know, how words started spreading, like kind of like it was like they were trying to do what the internet thrives in doing, just like spreading information.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'll get to that. So like these communities,
don't know what you're talking
these
about.
These communities would break into publication places or like stronghold them to make like little books or little booklets so that they can take and then spread it around, and that's how a lot of news got spread with like little communities.
Wait, can you just give me one example just so I can wrap my head around conceptually what you're talking about?
So say like, well, he was talking about you had to have a publication deal, and that got me thinking that like this little thing I learned recently where they would take, like, say they wanted a bunch of pamphlets and they wanted a bunch of books, but like no one had computers or printers or Kinkos back then. So they would stronghold someone who worked at a publication place, like a newspaper place, and they would print things, like they'd use the machines and like print things and then just like walk out the back door.
At what time period is this?
probably like the 60s.
Are you talking about 50s? Like the Hearst, the Sibian Liberation? Didn't they like storm a newspaper place?
They did. They stormed a newspaper place.
Was that like a thing that people had done since the dawn of time or some
shit?
It's because that sounds like great.
Well, like
we're gonna go storm.
Well, it's got to be really frustrating on the other end of the spectrum. It's got to be really frustrating people putting out false information about you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a marginalized community. You know.
Yeah, and information is power. Data is power. In the same way, like like bands and stuff, when they have like all these emails for their fans and stuff, like these third party ticket companies will like get a hold of that.
The
like
mailing list?
Yeah, the mailing list. Whenever they do a tour for them, they get a hold of their mailing list.
Oh, shit.
And like that's valuable things that they're handing over.
For sure.
Because now they have all those people.
Yeah.
And they don't, and bands and stuff like don't really realize that they're giving that stuff. Like they're giving up real estate basically.
Yeah.
It's free real estate.
Yeah. It's free real estate, but it's costing like people.
No, I'm just.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck my number got to every goddamn telemarketer in the world.
That's how.
I don't know how the fuck that happened.
I know
someone
I fucked up.
Yeah, someone who you gave your information to,
just sold it.
Sold it,
yeah,
or it got taken, but that's where it came from.
Yeah,
all of our information taken.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Nothing's real. Everything's fake.
Well, that's the thing, and that's where
I like to talk to telemarketers. So sorry to cut you off.
No,
but like
okay.
When they call you, like, and they're like, "Hey, is this something?" Like, what I usually go is like, hello, I don't. Hello. I'll just like talk to them really weirdly.
Have a conversation with them back.
I'll just be like, no, I'll just like.
You ever try to have a real conversation?
Like you, okay, you be a telemarketer to me.
Okay, hi.
Hi. Hello.
I'm here. I'm calling from a.
What? No, you would be like. Hi, is this Sean? I'm like, hi, Sean. you know what I mean? Just like,
you ever try to have a real conversation with a telemarketer?
Really opaque?
No, dude. I know.
No, don't do that because then you're wasting their time.
You
You want them to be able to get off the phone, and get to the next call because they gotta make.
No, but I mean, like, hey, like they'll call and be like, hey,
that's true, dude. That's very wise of you. They are just people.
No. I'm not talking about wasting their time. I'm talking about like, hey, like the answer is like, hey, dude, I'm not gonna buy anything, but like, I'm sorry, like, yeah, I know your job sucks, like.
You could do that, but that's opening up the conversation for them to find another way in, and it's just gonna drag it out. You just got to be fucking silly.
If they're a real salesman,
no one could sell me anything. No one could sell me anything. I'm really cheap. I'll pay for. I pay a lot of money for experiences and stuff, but like I'm really for things. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
What about a timeshare? You are you interested in? Hey Joseph, are you interested in a timeshare?
No, there's Airbnb now.
That's true. There's fucking Airbnb. That sucks for the timeshare business.
Yeah, but the timeshare business was kind of a trip, right? Because it's
so shitty.
It's kind of a snake.
My mom falls for it every time. I'm like, Mom, it's the oldest trick in the book. You're not gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
You don't have any money for this shit.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah, but like, it's something to buy.
Yeah, for sure.
If I could buy shit, I would buy shit. You know,
I try not to.
I was just talking to my mom about money the other day, and I think it's important that you work towards getting yourself to a point where you are so wrapped up in what you're trying to do that money
is the least of your worries.
Yeah, money is just a thing that is going to exist. We were talking about winning the lottery and how I don't think that, me personally, I don't want to win the lottery because I am the kind of dude who needs the fire underneath my feet. I fight best when I'm starving. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm most
living.
Yeah,
totally.
When I'm most productive. Like every time I've gotten the best grades, somebody told me I'm going to pull you out of school or some shit. You know, like that's an example. And I was telling her about how much I'm enjoying my podcast and how much I enjoy doing my graphic design right now. That if I won the lottery, I think it would just, or any money in general, it could be $500. Let's do a free $5,000. It would just sit behind me. I would still need to sit here at this computer and make art and do a podcast. And, you know, it would just be over there.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, and it was comforting to fucking finally feel that way. I've spent my whole life trying to figure out like what I needed to do. I've always spent my money on like new shit that I thought I needed, but I urge everybody to like I don't know, to care, like your need to create. Like you can have $5,000 and money might be able to facilitate whatever you're trying to create, but you'll still need to create, you know, and at some point that money will just be sitting somewhere. You know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I like to save. Or like if I want to spend money, like, you know, people like, I'll drop like $300 on some Nikes. Like for me, that's kind of like
move that cage back in front of move it to your right. Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
There.
So
Perfect,
like
dude.
I'll spend like money on a restaurant to go like have an experience with a person I want to have an experience with. Like even if it's just like a homie or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you had said that you don't mind spending your money on experiences.
Yeah, that's not that's not a problem for me.
Things are different.
Things. Because I grew up poor. Like dirt poor, like my parents were teenagers, like from a poor area. They were poor teenagers
for sure.
Yeah, so like, and I never realized I was poor until I became an adult. That I realized.
And what did that do for your outlook on money in general?
I'm afraid I'm just gonna go away. I'm always afraid.
So you're always spending,
I'm stable now.
You're always saving it.
Even when I'm my most stable, I'm always afraid. Like it's either gonna go away, or the bank's gonna shut down, or like or I'm gonna lose something, or like someone's gonna die, or like something like.
Oh wow.
There's just always like a panic going on that like that happens. Like when you grow up in the hood, like you're never not stressed out. The only time you're not stressed out is when you purposely kind of just like fuck everything. I don't care. I'll be stressed out about it later. Like you're never not stressed. Yeah. So like I kind of brought that with me into my adulthood, and like I'm always afraid something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna need the money. I can have like $1 million. I'm always gonna be afraid that something bad could happen where I would need that.
Were you afraid of violence growing up?
Kinda. I accepted it at probably like an early age. Like I accepted like I could get jumped on the way to school, but I have to go home. So like I have to walk home. So like.
So it is what it is.
You'd only be afraid of it.
People don't understand that people grew up like that.
Yeah. So like, you know, like when I bring someone to the hood and like we have to walk somewhere, like if we're at a house party and there's like a liquor store I want to go to, I'll just walk to it. And if I'm with like someone, they'll be afraid to walk. Whereas me, like I'm not afraid to walk, but like as soon as like I see someone, then like I'm kind of where they're at.
Yeah, for sure. Like, well, it sparks those like. You turn. You're an animal.
Like, I just want to know what this person.
You turn into your fucking. Yeah. Your ears go up. The message. Like a dog.
You ever heard that rap song, "The Message"?
By who?
Grandmaster Flash. Is that? I'm like spacing out right now. I'm kind of high.
Sing it.
Forgive me.
Sing it.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Yeah.
But the whole song's about like how the world's a jungle and like the hood's a jungle, and like it's describing it as a jungle because people who don't know about it can't really relate to it, and that's the closest thing that they can think of. Like to get to, it's like a jungle out here. Like it really is. People are surviving, and like people are out, and people are predators.
Yeah, there's pecking orders, and there's fucking prey, dude.
And it's all just people put in a position that they don't want to be in.
For sure. Would you say, and everybody's in a position they don't want to be in?
Not everybody.
Just trying to utilize the position the best they can.
That, or they're just a product of their environment. You put someone in a shitty environment, they're going to be a shitty person. Like,
for sure.
And you can't really, like, I'm not saying you can excuse everything they do, but at a certain point you got to realize if they weren't they were put over, if like, you know, if history changed.
The people mad at them were never in the position.
Yeah, they weren't.
It's so backwards.
Yeah.
To me.
And they think they think the worlds are so separate. Like, oh, that's a bad world that he's from, and that's a this, that's a that. But like we're all in the same world. It's just
for sure. We're down the street,
different real estate.
And it's operating
location,
and it's operating at every level, but in different ways.
Yeah,
that was the idea of law enforcement being from the neighborhood they're policing.
Wait, I thought you're not supposed to be.
No, they should be.
They would better understand that the community.
They'd have more accountability.
Yeah, and instead of treating everybody a certain way because of.
But there's negatives and positives to it too, because then they're just like, even if they have to arrest someone, now they're afraid to go home.
Yeah, and then
Oh, I didn't fucking.
Well, that's why they don't.
Okay.
But like
for sure. Or like if they know where you live, like what about then your family's in danger.
What about an interview process where you don't have to be from there, but you can be somebody who understands?
You're just asking too much.
And also it's also a corruption thing when you have super tight ties to your community. you probably sold weed in high school, so you probably know the dude, and you're fucking, and then how do you enforce law? Well, no, what I mean is,
but they can't tax it.
No, what I mean it. No, I mean like, or like, it could be ecstasy or pills or whatever. What I mean is like, if you have the community you have tight ties in, you have like above board ties, and also like, you also have like shadier ties, and so it makes it hard to have a legit police force because corruption is going to be built into it because you grew up there, you have family ties.
That's what's so sad about that was the saddest part about the Nipsey Hussle thing.
What
you just
can't go home.
You just see videos and videos and videos of this dude telling people. The most influential video of Nipsey Hussle I saw is how he was doing this like rap. He was at this concert, he's about to do the show with a bunch of other rappers, and the interviewer was asking why he wasn't wearing chains or something, and he proceeded to give the speech.
Really offensive question.
Well,
historically, really offensive question.
Well, Nipsey Hussle proceeded to say, because that shit is all it's just fake. Like, these are just items. Like, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in properties and prospects, whatever, and said something very wise. And that's a testament to just all of the positivity and changed outlook that he was able to give his community. And the fact that he got shot in front of his store is just absolutely tragic.
Like that he is a product of his environment in every single way, both like, for the good of him and ultimately the bad of him, like the end of him. But like when you see like people like getting treated like the worst treated people, like when you see the people at the bottom of like society, you empathize with them, and you can only go forward. Like, you just look at negativity or like hate or any of that stuff. Like, you just look like, no, I've seen the worst of it. Like, that shit's not good. Like, we got to go in the other direction. Like, like you want to hate someone because it makes you feel better, but no, like hate just leads to more hate. Like, when you've seen the worst, you only want to go towards the light. And that's that's what he was. Well,
there's people who go the other way with it too.
But he's one of those people that went straight towards the light.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that something like that, you don't have to be from the hood to like empathize with the hood and do good for the hood, which eventually like does good for like society. But it does help because you can relate to the people there. For sure. But then the worst part about that is that you're also vulnerable to it. Yeah. It's like, it just sucks. Like,
because you were brought up into that, because you were tied to that environment.
Yeah. He died on his turf. Yeah, like the LA is his turf basically, because like he was so loved, but he went back to where his store is, and
so I don't know too much about the whole story around Nipsey Hussle's death, but I vaguely remember it being like it was like his homie who was like an informant or some shit for the.
I don't know. I had heard.
I don't know.
That
I'll never say anyone shot anyone.
Word. That's smart.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know the whole story behind everything. All I know is that he was doing a lot of positive things for his community.
Oh yeah,
and he got popped in front of his store, and
for culture too, not just community, just like for his culture, like the people who are living during the time that he's living in. Like, he was changing a lot of stuff that would ultimately affect everyone who's poor, and like a lot of people are poor, and then those people become middle class, and then there's those, now he's affected the middle class, and he's still affecting the, like, he just affected, that's why you hear so much about it. A lot of people who didn't follow him are like, well, what was the big deal? Like, he was just that rapper that, like, no, like, he was doing a lot of things under the radar that like had to be done under the radar. Otherwise they wouldn't get done. And like people like that's why only certain people that were affected, or like could see people that are affected, or like are part of that world almost, like that's why they praise him, because like they can actually see all the good he was doing with it. It wasn't just music was kind of like the vehicle, which is what I kind of see as like a lot of like that's kind of what I see, like Onda, like any kind of band, like that's a vehicle you're riding. People are looking at it. What are you going to use it for?
So what's your guys' destination?
I want to like kind of just like uplift people. Like I would love world peace. I would love peace for all people. But like I can see the people that I particularly relate to, the people that I'm from, are like, they've never really had like a foundation to like voice, like whether it's art or just like how they see the world, or the fact that like Wilmington is the asshole of Los Angeles because we have the shit factory, we have refineries, we have the harbor. The air quality there is really bad, that I've been a part of like maybe like a couple lawsuits with refineries when I was a kid. Like there's been explosions, and then we were entitled to enough money to be happy, but not enough to heal it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they just kind of threw money at us, and it was enough to be happy with, but not enough to fix the problem. But we didn't care because like we needed that rent money. So like, you know, we took it. And that happened a lot when I was a kid. And then it happened to my parents. My parents grew up like the decade before me, but like that's like, no one talks about that. No one like says it. Like people talk about refiner explosions, another fire, whatever. But like, no, that's really bad. They're really bad. Bro. And a lot of times they blow up. They let them. Like they'll
gas out or whatever.
They'll process how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
And they'll go the cheaper route, and sometimes the cheaper route is just fucking up.
Yeah, it's like they'll pay the fine. Fight Club, like the narrator dude from Fight Club.
Yeah,
with
like, cars.
Yeah, with the recall calculator.
Yeah.
You know.
Where for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, he does is
seen fucking Fight Club.
Yeah, then fucking you're not gonna be watching this.
Actually,
shit.
Yeah, because you know what, I love Chuck Palahniuk too much, so too bad.
Chuck Palahniuk.
But yeah, it's the same thing. So like the air quality, like, you know, out in the South Bay in general is kind of bad because of all that stuff. But like Wilmington in general, no one talks about like how bad it is there. And we got the port, and we just got the shit filtration, like for Los Angeles is like, it's in Wilmington. It's like right there. Everyone's shit ends up in Wilmington. And no one talks about.
Isn't there another one over here too? Like another water treatment plant here.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is.
Yeah.
And that's like a weird thing tying El Segundo to Wilmington. It's like
El Segundo is the Wilmington of the South Bay.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I've always wanted a platform for like all of us to do it, and like it's kind of like too much of a big idea that you kind of have to have a big ego to do it. So it's like that part has always been kind of like unappealing to like. I would just tell you, hey, this is a good idea. You should do it. Like you have a really big ego. You should go for it.
Is that what it is?
But you're gonna do this one.
But like
you guys are gonna do this
one.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Well, it's kind of like fallen into it because this music that we got going together, I like it so much that I would want it to be a band. Like when you have music projects, you don't know which one you want to be your band. And then like think of like you working with your best friend, and you got like these collective songs that you guys both like, you know, they would have existed in one way if he had just done them, or like they might have existed in another way if I just done it. But like I like the way they are together, so that's like it makes me want to be in that band. But if I'm gonna be in a band, it's not gonna be to promote myself. I'm gonna use, because I have a lot of things that I want to get promoted before I ever want to promote myself, and that's kind of the more I want to be in La Onda, the more I'm gonna want it to be that. And so if I'm ever pushing it, like
what,
I'm gonna want it to be I'm gonna want it to be a vehicle to push like awareness for something. Like one of the biggest things that we talk like that I've talked about a couple times was I want to, if we ever got like signed and we went on tour and stuff, and we need a band and stuff, I would want to get people from the hood, and like, you know, like just like take my friends' bands who like they've been playing music forever, and, you know, they got kids and stuff, but they're supporting them, like, you know, working like Uber, you know, delivering papers in the morning. You know, they're struggling, but it's because they want to do music, and, you know, they can pay the rent and then just worry about everything else. Whenever, like those people, like I want to give a break to, or like go to the high school and just figure out, like go to the music program, say, okay, who has potential but ain't gonna go to college because of money.
Yeah.
You know, like that'd be cool to have a program like that.
That would be cool.
That's always a program I've always thought about doing, but no one's ever done it. And so this whole thing is kind of like a pipe dream that we're just kind of putting together.
For sure.
The only way we know how to put together.
For sure.
Like we're not like, oh, we want to do all this stuff for the community, so we're gonna start a band and do that. It's kind of just like we put music together, and that's the only kind of band I would want to be excited to be in a part. A band that does something with its vehicle.
For sure. So it's more, you just want to be a part of a vehicle, and you enjoy playing music so much that this band isn't appropriate.
I've always liked what he's done with music. I have his song that I first he had a song that I first fell in love with his music. I got it tattooed on me.
Really?
That was before. Was that like, when was that? That was a long ass time.
That was a long time ago.
It was the song from it was a song from the band that I was in that he heard that made him reach out to me.
Yeah, I really loved his there's just something about a musician, when, especially because he was doing it like mostly solo with some help with friends and stuff, but like it was mostly just him. And there's something about a musician where if you hear their music, if you just hear them play, you ever riff, you play, what do you play?
I played drums.
You play drums. You ever just fucking jam with someone?
Yeah.
And just like kind of like get to know, like look at them and get to know who they are based on what they're playing.
Yeah.
And what kind of emotion. Like, yeah, like I've always felt that with him. Like I've always felt like that's why I became his friend instantly. Like, cause like I just loved who he was as a musician, and like I just felt him as a person. And then like I forgot where I was going with it, except I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
No, but what were we talking about?
What are you talking about?
No, this is a fucking solid spot right here. So when is your guys' albums coming out? It's August 16th. August 16th. It's going to be available on all platforms, and it's called Ride.
Ride.
Yeah. It's called Ride. It has 5 songs. It's going to be on all platforms. We did it with the help of Ed Brescia with the cover art.
Yeah.
And we did it with the help of Thomas. I don't know Thomas's last name.
Rojo.
Thomas Rojo. He's a really cool guy.
My homie.
He mastered it.
He's got a really sick recording studio. You should check out sometime. I'll show you about it later.
For sure.
Yeah.
Shout out that dude.
Shout out Ed, because we all love Ed.
Yeah, and shout out Ed.
And then Sean, because I love Sean apparently, because I keep talking about how much I love Sean.
Yeah. And then shout out La Onda. Dude, I really appreciate you guys coming through this.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for dealing. Like you kind of got like a real life like research for someone with anxiety.
Yeah.
Going on. And
no, you did fucking awesome.
I ended great. I feel great now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like throughout the duration of the podcast, you kind of watch someone go through anxiety and come out of it.
Yeah, for sure. So this was actually a study for
a whole ride.
Cool.
Social anxiety.
If anyone has anxiety,
check out La Onda. You guys want people to go to your SoundCloud yet or no?
No. Well, right now,
whatever.
Now that it's this podcast is
by
released,
the time you see
the
it,
music is out on Spotify.
Like,
so if you have Spotify, you can use it there.
Yeah,
if you
just
don't
look for La Onda Ride. Because there's a bunch of La Ondas from like fucking Venezuela and shit too, or like everywhere.
Yeah, so if you just like, I mean, you'll see the cover art and stuff. Yeah, but like, if you don't have any Spotify and stuff, it's on SoundCloud.
Am I cool to put this on YouTube tomorrow?
For sure.
Yeah, you can put it on YouTube.
Okay, for sure.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, you could just go to the SoundCloud. I'm pretty sure.
I'll provide the links.
Check it out.
I really appreciate you guys coming on. And as you guys develop in your musical careers, or if you guys have anything new you guys want to update the podcast on, you guys just come back.
I'll work on other podcasts and I'll come back.
You don't, dude. This was a practice, dude.
Yeah, cool.
Practice for everybody.
It's all practice.
Yeah, we'll get it nailed down in like 2-3 years. We'll fucking.
Well, I just got to get my anxiety down and figure that out.
You guys are gonna be chill. All right, everybody, check out La Onda.
Thanks, buddy.
Peace. Fuck yeah, boys.
Cool.
Yeah, buddy.